I assure the chief guest, in another 5 years as we implement this strategic plan, we'll come back here to celebrate great achievements that National Housing Corporation will have realized. With those remarks, asanteni sana, allow me to welcome our chairman. Karibu sana, Bwana Chairman.
Yeah, our chief guest today, both the head of public service, our friend and a brother, Koske, and the minister, Mrs. Wahome, and our peers, Bwana Hinga, and then also our peers from Public Works, Joel. Today is a big day for National Housing Corporation, and I think for Kenya. If you look at the laws in this country from 1953 up to now, it should be a very, very big day in this country, because even the colonial government, as much as they were here as foreigners, but they had an idea of how to provide housing, number one, to begin with for themselves. And then later on, they changed the law to include whites and Asians. And then later on, of course, it has come up to where we are. But you know, in law, those who are lawyers, because I'm not a lawyer, but I did some of it in the university when we were doing these contracts, they say that things being equal, if things were equal throughout, I think National Housing Corporation should be very far today. But I think, you know, a mix of things. And this is the reason why we thought, from last year, I was with MD. I'm a Muslim myself, and he's a Christian. So I think we were discussing something. But it is able to quote from the Bible. And when he quoted from the Bible, this Jeremiah 29:10, is when we found that NHC was going to be 70 years old. So actually we were thinking about doing it last year, but because of time we thought we'd do it now. The reason why we are doing it now, we are doing it within the same financial year. But I really appreciate the effort that has been put in, not only by ourselves, but the idea the government had and the support we have gotten from government all along. And I've been very happy today, this morning, when I saw some of the gentlemen and ladies who served on this board. I think wherever you are, just those who are board members before us, the board members who are present today, just so that maybe you can clap for them. We really thank you. And what I've been telling my board is that somebody had very wonderful vision about National Housing Corporation. Those who have seen that the clips there, you can see what people were thinking about the National Housing Corporation and the country. So I really thank you. Thank you for coming, and may God give you many more years so that we can see more of this. And then we have got my head of public service and Waziri and so on. You know, we also have got our professionals here, the engineers and architects and the quantity surveyors who really make the sector run. We invited some of them because I think because of time, we were not able to invite all of them. But I can see the lady, what is the chairman of, they call them chairperson of Architectural Association of Kenya. This lady, well, there. You know, you had your team, just stand up. That is the chairperson of Architectural Association of Kenya in the whole country. There she is there. And then we had, there was also a president of the Institute of Quantity Surveyors of Kenya. Is she around? I saw her somewhere in the morning. I don't know where she's gone but she was around. And then I think, Nani David, on behalf of the consultant, I think just stand up on behalf of the architects and engineers and quantity surveyors, because I think I saw you there. And then we have got chairman. We invited the chairman of parastatals, state corporation and the councils of university, But I think because people are very committed, I think many of them did not come. But I can just say, another first again, we have the chairman of Kenya National Highways Authority. And we are very grateful to the host, the host, my sister, former MP, just say, she's the chairman of this institution. Chairperson, but you know, that's how it's, you know, in law they say a man and a woman is the same in law. So she's, and then I'm happy that the person who is regulating for us, the industry, Engineer Kate, I also saw him somewhere. But this doesn't mean that we are not recognizing it, but I think even management of National Housing Corporation, we are very happy with you. And my colleagues, the ones I spend a lot of time with trying to see how we can change this corporation, maybe just do this, Just walk here for a minute, just please. These are my, these are the guys who hold, the ones that on whose shoulders I stand for me to be what I am. These are. Nani, head of public, we are very happy as a board. You know, you considered very well and appointed us in people who can actually understand what we are doing. This Bernard is a member of the board. He's a politician from from Narok. He was telling me that he was appointed because he comes from a marginalized group. Yes. But he has been a leader in with FAST in Narok. Here he's a member of the board. Engineer Rotich is an engineer in mechanical engineering, who is also vast. He has got his own private business. And then John is the one who moderates us between the ministry and ourselves. He's the one who comes to tell us what to do from the ministry, and we are able to work together very well with him. And then there is Yasin. This is another one again you did. You know, this regional balance. I'm not ashamed to say that the president did a wonderful thing. This guy comes from Wajir, Yasin, and he's also a Muslim. But he's an auditor. Yeah, I mean Wajir, yeah. This one comes from the lake. Joshua Nyamori has been a banker, he's a financier, and now he's a lawyer. He's the one who advises on the board on what to do and what not to do. And he happens to be my brother-in-law because my wife also comes from there. This is my younger sister. Is an architect. She operates in Mombasa. She's called Hindu. She has worked in the county government of Mombasa, and she also runs her own private business. This is my sister. When I was chief conservator in the Ministry of Works, she was a chief superintending architect. So she's an architect on the board, and she represents Mount Kenya. Jennifer represents Mount Kenya. And this one, we have got almost the same background. They were brought up in the villages. So he has got a lot of things sometimes to learn from me. How I was brought up by my mother, and this is the reason why we keep on talking about our mothers. Yes. And this is the reason why we are doing very well. Thank you so much. And then we have got somebody who is actually very senior, but he's very, I don't know what, there's something wrong with it. I tried to bring him up. A senior man, but he's always laying back. This. This William Keitani is the company secretary. I mean, corporation secretary, National Housing Corporation. I think for about 27 years. Yes. He has seen all those guys who left. And he's doing a good job. Thank you so much. So I think our guests, all this information we have, I think the person who may have information, getting this information could be, because of his work, the head of public service. You can imagine, he has to get this about National Housing Corporation. He has to get this about housing. Oh, by the way, the chairman, the acting chairman, sorry, I'm going to have a problem. The acting chairman of NCA, my dear lawyer, where is she? Why you hide? I think I want to treat you like those just because of your just come for a minute. Because you know she does a lot for us and she's going to be very unhappy with me. Yeah. Just say your name quickly.
My name is Mercy Okiro, Advocate of the High Court, Acting Chair, National Construction Authority Board. Thank you, Chairman.
Well done. And then we have got Faisal. Faisal is a representative of the Cabinet Secretary, Treasury, but he's not in, but he has sent an apology. So, Head of Public Service, I think the information you just need to know is that National Housing Corporation, thank you so much. Tell the President I'm always grateful to him as a friend for having appointed me as a professional person to come to National Housing Corporation, because it has helped revive my professional thinking. Najua ukiingia kwa siasa ni profession sangine unasahau kila kitu.
The President of the Institution of Engineers of Kenya.
Is she here?
Yes.
Okay. So, like I made assurance, Head of Public Service, we are going to give you all the information that is required for you to make this agenda. Actually, what was in the manifesto? It is, incidentally, this thing of housing agenda was not only in the manifesto of Kenya Kwanza. It was even in the manifesto of Jubilee. It was even in the manifesto of this other party, what do you call it? This Azimio. But you see, the trouble with human beings is that the moment you win, they now turn the other thing, even which they liked to be negative. All of them had this housing agenda. And I'm very happy that there is a project that was done in Pangani, in Park Road, by, I think it was under the Ministry of Housing. That project was supposed to show what we can be able to do. You know, Aero Publisher, when we were in Starehe, the President said that those houses being put there, people from Mudaiga and people from Levington should not go and buy those houses. You know, the fear is, people are fearing that somebody can come and buy all of them and start selling, because you are getting a house there, and that's what I was trying to say on that. There is a lot of speculation in housing in this country. You find that we are putting up a 2-bedroom, for example, in Starehe, affordable housing is going to go for about 3.5 million. But just across, when you come to Kilimani, or you just go across to Kileleshwa, it is costing 15 to 20 million shillings. But somebody was arguing in Kakamega, somebody almost called me name, saying that how are you taking very prime land and putting up affordable housing? I told him, you are calling that land prime because you are in a position to live there. But this ordinary person in Kenya, if he went to school like you and got a job like you, he will also be living in that place. All the land in Kenya belongs to, it's public land held in trust by government on behalf of every Kenyan. So this we are saying, if county governments can give land the way Embu has done, the way Kirinyaga has done, the way Homa Bay did. And interestingly, by the way, you know, those are 3 ladies. The governor of Homa Bay is a lady. The governor of Embu is a lady. The governor of Kirinyaga is a lady. When I praise them, people say that, you know, you are praising them. But it's true. The men who are governors are not willing to give land for us to build houses for people. Why should I not praise those ladies? Why should I not praise them? So we are saying that every county must give land. The land doesn't belong to governors. The land belongs to Kenyans. We want to get land so that we can put up. Today, those 5 projects we are doing, we are spending about 960 million. In Homa Bay, where there is 110 units, in Kirinyaga 100 units, in Embu 100, in Nyandarua 100, and in Kericho 100. We are spending about 960 million shillings. and the head of public service and my dear Waziri and then the PS, we are saying if we get more money as National Housing Corporation, like if we got the 10 billion, for example, today, we should be able to replicate those houses in 50 counties. That means 47 counties plus 3. Just at a go. Creation of employment, people selling their wear, like these people who are advertising here, paint and everything. Mamamboga, being able to sell their mbogas and the maharagwe and so on. So there is a very big multiplier effect. So we don't want to have a fight on the issue of money. In fact, I'm saying if everything was equal, all these funds should have been with NHC. But you know, because you don't think different, we allow freedom of thinking. But I'm assuring you, all of you here who have come today, and I really appreciate you coming. I could not recognize you individually. I'm assuring you that as long as I'm the chairman of National Housing Corporation, we are not going to let you down. Our chief conservator in government, and sometimes I meet my friends, they tell me, how can you say you don't have money and you are the whole chief conservator? I say, I didn't go there to take money, I went there to work. And right now, there's nothing else I want to do. I want to work for you. I want to work for National Housing Corporation. I want to work for the country. I want to work for you guys. I want to work for my president and my head of public service and my minister. That's what I want to do. And my mother who is in the grave, my grandfather who is in the grave, my father who is in the grave, I want to work for those people. May God bless you all. And please, let us talk positive about our own institutions. Nobody else will go and talk. Let us know politics. Now, you know, this is a bit embarrassing. In fact, when I was appointed chairman, the professional bodies in this country, engineers, architects, and conservators, they got a lot of hope. The MD can tell you that we received a lot of congratulatory messages from engineers, architects, and conservators. And for sure, they have invited us to their functions. Mombasa, the other day we were in Nyeri talking about engineering partnerships and so on. So I think we had also invited the president of the engineers. I don't know whether, well done. What about the registrar, the CEO? Is she? Oh, well done. We really appreciate it. In fact, the function you're having at the university, I think next month, this time I would like you to invite the head of public service. There is a conference for engineers. I would like you to come. So nawashukuru sana. Thank you so much, and thank you, management team and our staff. I thank you so much. I appreciate you. We have not been able to invite everybody, but I'm sure what will go. I want also to thank the media for having made it possible for what we have seen. And then we have got, just come, the two of you. Just come. The two of you. Hey. Now, come in. Last week, you know, you must love your country. Last week we had, the other week, we had visitors from, it was called Swaziland, now it's called? Eswatini. We had the kingdom, we had visitors from, we had two ministers, equivalent of cabinet secretaries, and we had one of them for housing, and the other one I think for urban development. And then there was a permanent secretary, a lady, and there was a large delegation. So they had come to National Housing Corporation for benchmarking. They were coming to see how we do things so that they can go and do them in their own country. And we had a very good interaction, and we told them We are celebrating 70 years on 27th. If they can be able to come, it will be appreciated. And I told the MD to give them a letter immediately of invitation. And so these two gentlemen have come from Eswatini to come, the kingdom of Eswatini, to come and represent the government of Eswatini in this 70 years celebration of this country. So do you guys want to say, just hi.
Good morning, everyone. Sanmonani in our Siswati language. Thank you for having us, Chair, the board, the Managing Director and the staff of the National Housing Corporation on behalf of the government of Eswatini. My name is Mtutuzi Dlamini. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Eswatini Housing Board, which is the sister company. With me is the Undersecretary in the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, our line ministry, Undersecretary Technical, Mr. Makosi Simelane. Thank you, Chair. I know you will not believe this, but the history in terms of colonial housing and now our mandate is exactly similar. So this is why we would like to build a relationship, learn from each other and teach each other. Thank you very much.
So to finalize, I really appreciate, you can see what it means. Now, when the PS was coming to me just now, he was coming to tell me that I should finish. Now, you know, I've been in this kind of job for many years, so I know what to do. I was just about to finish. And I could not finish without introducing those visitors. Do you think it would have been fair for me, people to come from the whole of, and I don't introduce them? Do you think it would have been fair? Okay, clap for me so that I can leave the stage. Thank you so much. Let me invite the PS and see what he tells us, okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. You know, him and I somehow share this evangelistic spirit, and sometimes you can have what is called everlasting gospel that will keep on going on. So thank you, Chair. The Head of Public Service, my CS, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Allow me, before I make one remark, to recognize my colleague, Joel Arumanyang. You can come. He's my colleague at Public Works. Just say congratulations to NHC.
The Head of Public Service, who is the Chief Guest, CS Alice Wahome, my colleague Hinga, and the whole team of NHC and partners, visitors, good afternoon. Today marks 70 years for NHC. Congratulations, NHC, and we will look for a better, brighter future for NHC. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Allow me also to recognize we are one of the biggest ministries in the country, and our PS for lands unfortunately was not able to come, but he's ably represented by Mr. Maalim. I'm sure most of you remember Maalim. He was the RC Rift Valley. Thank you so much. Allow me to also recognize the staff from the ministry. Anybody from the ministry, whether it is housing, lands, public works, please stand up. Recognize you. Thank you so much. Well represented. Thank you. The Head of Public Service, I think the MD, you know, he says I'm his mentor, has said something that it is bad manners to make speeches when your bosses are there. I had a 13-page speech prepared for me, so I'm going to spare you that. And just allow me to say that this country of ours, when God thought about this great country of Kenya, in his own wisdom, he did not bequeath us with a lot of resources. We don't have gold, we don't have platinum, and many other resources that other countries say they have. But in his own wisdom, when he tucked us into this corner of East Africa, he gave us one thing which is a great resource: we, the people. And I want to tell you, and sometimes when you open the papers and watch the news, you may think that we are a country at war. But I love our noisy democracy. The head of public service, this country of ours punches way above its weight. I can attest to that. And you don't have to go to too many places. We've just come, our head of the nation has just come from a very successful tour in the US, a feat that has not been given to many countries. And why am I saying this, the head of public service? Almost 60, 70 years ago, a tiny country in Far East Asia had a discourse about what is it that we can be able to bequeath our hard-working men and women. And they determined that it is untenable for you to toil and work hard and you retire in poverty. And they had a conversation like we're having today, and sometimes a very difficult conversation. And they determined that for as long as you work, you're willing to put in a shift, you will have a decent roof over your head, you will have the best medical care, and you're going to have the best education, and you will retire in dignity. I know a lot of people don't like us to talk about Singapore because they say Singapore is smaller than Kiambu County. Most of you have said that. But it is true that as we look at the last 60 years, what they have been able to achieve is because they sat down and they had a conversation. We are having this conversation today. We could have had it 60 years ago. But I am glad that the next 60, 70 years, that generation is going to look back and they're going to say that there was a team that was on a mission, and they decided that it is not fair for you to work hard and to go sleep in a shanty. That is untenable, where 70% of our urban population lives in a house that is not decent. You pay to use a toilet, they pay 172% more for water, they pay 49% more for electricity. It is not fair. And I know it is a difficult conversation. The only thing that we want to say is that with National Housing Corporation, with the national government, and now with the National Housing Board, we will deliver on this mandate. You can trust that your money is safe, and that in this country, as long as you're willing to work and put in a decent shift, you will have a decent roof over your head. That is a promise that we intend to keep. The ship has already taken off, and I can tell you, as of today, we have close to 103,000 units under construction and others under contracting. So we are moving together. The conversation will soon change. That you can get a decent house for 3,000 shillings, a house that you will own. That you can get a 3-bedroom house for 15,000 shillings a month, and that the house you shall own. This is the country that we are talking about. And we're not just talking about 4 walls and a roof. We are building schools, we are building clinics, we are building fire station, we are giving our people a lifestyle, a livelihood that you will be proud of. Thank you so much for the sacrifices that you are making. We don't take it for granted, but we thank you for the sacrifices, and we'd like to tell you that we shall not let you down. Lastly, we are glad to have our team from Eswatini, the kingdom. Now, when I say that this country of ours we punch way above our weight, I want to tell you, I won't mention which country. I have been approached by two countries not to come and benchmark. They're asking me to go there and implement this program. Let me tell you, the world is watching, and sooner than later, everybody will be coming here in Kenya. The affordable housing agenda is not a problem for our country. It's a major urban issue globally. We are one of the few countries in the world that has figured out, we have a plan, and we are moving on. So thank you so much. God bless you. It is now my great pleasure and honor. Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Introduce each other where they are.
Okay. All right. All right. Before I invite my CS, I'd like to invite my Vice Chair of the Parliamentary Committee, Honorable Rindikiri. He has another name, Muruidhania and Mugambi, to come and just say congratulations to NHC as one.
Thank you, Permanent Secretary, Mr. Inga, our Cabinet Secretary, Madam Alice Wahome, the Head of Public Service, a very good friend, Felix Kaskei, all the partners who are here with us today. For legal purposes, I was informed and instructed to go to Mombasa today on the same programs, and I had to do a detour so that I can come and be part of this great beginning of our history in this country. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rindikiri Mugambi. I'm the Vice Chair of the Departmental Committee that oversees housing, urban development, and public works at the National Assembly of Kenya. Indeed, this is a good opportunity for us all, the beginning of the new era of where we need Kenya to be tomorrow. It is quite a major task that our government, headed by our President, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, having championed the implementation of housing agenda in this country. It is a sacrifice for all of us, and I'm so blessed to see many of you here, and this gives me a testimony and comfort that we are on the right track. It is a constitutional requirement that all Kenyans must have decent and affordable shelter. And through the wisdom that God has given His Excellency the President, he had to execute this and take his head on. I quite agree with the sentiment that have been expressed by our Permanent Secretary, who has been lining up and down for a couple of years now, and this reality is coming to being. You will never know what this government is doing until 20 years to come. The foundation His Excellency the President is laying for the development and the spring of this country is enormous. We all need to appreciate him. And I think, being a politician as I am, I would like all of us to stand and say echo to His Excellency the President. Please join me and we share for the performance and great work that His Excellency the President is doing for this country. We can clap for him wherever he is. That's for you, Your Excellency, whenever you are. This is one agenda that is coming. Please have a seat. We want to take this opportunity to thank the National Housing Corporation, led by our friend QS Matthew and the chairman. We also want to thank the other supporting implementing agencies who are represented here. I can see them. The Public Works, National Housing National Construction Authority, etc., etc. Madam CS, thank you, because you are going to be part of this history. You you are a mother. You know our children require decent houses, our husbands. Our husbands and our mothers, they all require decency. And I want to thank Madam Alice because she has come in and fitted. And I can assure you, Kenyans, this ministry is under the right hands. Can we give a clap of appreciation to Amma? Inga, who is standing here, he was 150 kilograms before 2022. When we took over the government, the weight has dropped to about 75. This is body mass you are seeing because of this agenda. So I don't want to talk much. Thank you very much. We are on this together. We must transform our country. We must transform our country. It's quite expensive. Some people might see it unlistenable. Some people might think we are just wasting time. This is not going to die. This is going to be the best program our government has done. We have taken the risk of championing this. We know by the end of 2027, when we are voting back His Excellency the President, every Kenyan will be telling him, thank you for being our president. Asanteni sana. God bless you. I would like also to introduce my fellow, she's right here. Faith Gitao is one of our commissioners at the National Assembly. She's the women representative of our great country of Nyandarua.
Thank you. All protocols observed. I want to take this opportunity to really congratulate our National Housing Corporation and the ministry for the great work that you are doing. This project indeed is a game changer. For me, I really do not want to know who will occupy those houses, but the number of employment that is being created in this project. So congratulations, carry on. Madam CS, you are doing a great job. Thank you and well done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the Vice Chair of our committee and the Honorable Member of County, the County MP for Nyandarua. It's now my great pleasure to invite my boss, my Cabinet Secretary, CS Alice Wahome, to come and make her remarks.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. Our chief guest, the very good head of public service and chief of staff, office of the president. Today people are calling others bosses. I don't know why people are calling each other bosses, but given the attitude, the other day we were seated in cabinet and His Excellency said, you people be careful. When you see people saluting a lot, your staff there, and saying, salute, salute, yes madam, be very careful. I'm very happy today, be very careful, but on a very light note, I know that the Principal Secretary here, Charles Hinga, may not have rose to those kind of kilos, but I know this State Department, Head of Public Service, works 24/7. May I recognize all the other government officers, particularly in this State Department, their colleagues who they collaborate with, honorable members of Parliament, my good friend Faith, thank you very much for coming. We have the Vice Chair, I'm sure, representing the Committee on Housing. These guys give us a lot of headache, but in Parliament, but they know that we are doing our job very well. The other day, they were really impressed that we were doing it right. And I'm glad that they have worked a lot along with us, Honorable Chair, in terms of the housing, affordable housing law. We couldn't have done it without them, of course. We went through all the motions. Today, we are now at the regulation stage. And the regulations are almost done. We plan to have that. I'm just saying this, a few things off the cuff, so that we can give a clap to our members of parliament, because they are here. When you see the vice chair detouring from his trip, so that they can be part of this. They are part of our success, and we have more legislation coming, because we are going to bring the national housing policy. So we still need your support, Honorable Lindikiri. I'm so happy to see the Eshiwachani team. I was with your minister last week. He paid a courtesy call. I'm sure the collaboration that we have started will lead to our team also coming to your place, led by the chairman, NHC. Of course, we are here today to celebrate 70 years. Within the 70 years, this last year of the 70 years, the color, the logo that is new branding, the strategic plan right here in front of us tells us that NHC is preparing itself for the big bite that they must take of the 300,000 units that we want to do as a country. When we say 200,000, we are just understating to be on the safe side. But I know His Excellency's target is 300,000. We have adapted that target. We have had to adjust that target. And therefore, Hinga and his team are planning for 300,000. Of course, that is together with the partners. And I am happy to see that we had some time and space for the partners. All of you, without singling anyone out, thank you very much for the partnership, for collaboration. You've been there for MHC. We will urge you to continue being there. And I know that with your support, the dream that we plan to achieve, decently housed nation, will be achieved. I'm sure some of these people seated here may not have homes, the kind of homes we are talking about here. But listening to because we have listened to the video, people keep away from owning a home because of the fears that the Honorable Gladys Wanga has expressed. You count your salary by pen, shilling to shilling, and you find like there is no space or room. But with our affordable housing program, we have made that possible. And we really want to congratulate His Excellency, the President. We will be taking the President to our sites to celebrate the 70 years with us. But for this one, we wanted to first have the logo, so that when we have this logo, when we have the strategic plan, we take off. And QS Matthew is busy on his desk, led by his board. The chairman is quite, I didn't know you have that kind of humor. Actually, the chairman today, you are quite humorous. You know, you might think the chairman is joking, but he's talking a lot of sense. The professionals are our backbone, and I'm glad that you are able to recognize the professionals working a lot behind the scenes. Of course, he's one of the professionals himself as a QS. He's my good friend because we were with him in Parliament, so we know each other well, and he takes advantage of that. And he has the permission to do that. Our chief guest today, thank you very much, Felix, for coming this event today to grace the occasion. As MHC, we want to promise you that what we are talking about here in the strategic plan, with the support of Parliament and His Excellency the President, budget allocated, and of course we are part of the levy that Kenyans are giving us. then NHC will make bigger strides than it has made. Ladies and gentlemen, it is therefore my profound honor to be part of this momentous occasion as we celebrate 70th anniversary of National Housing Corporation. This day marks a significant milestone in the history of housing development in Kenya, a testament to our enduring commitment to providing quality and affordable housing to all Kenyans. As we gather here in the iconic Bomas of Kenya, we are reminded of the importance of a home. Just remember where you came from as I speak about a home, not just a physical structure, but as the foundation upon which families build their dreams, communities thrive, and our nation prospers. Today, we gather to honor the community of stakeholders who have tirelessly worked to ensure that every Kenyan has the opportunity to find a place they can proudly call home. We are here to reflect on our past achievements as NHC, celebrate our present successes, and chart a bold course for the future of our housing in Kenya. The journey of the NHC began in 1953, a time when the need for organized housing solutions was becoming increasingly apparent. They actually started as a committee. Since its inception, the NHC has been a pillar of stability and progress in our country through fostered community development, economic growth, and social harmony. Over the past 7 decades, National Housing Corporation has achieved numerous milestones that have had a profound impact on the lives of many Kenyans, including delivery of over 50,000 housing units across the country. NHC projects have been diverse and inclusive, ranging from affordable housing for low-income families and to high-quality residences for the middle and upper classes, of course, those who can afford that. Moreover, the NHC has been instrumental in developing entire communities, complete with essential amenities such as schools, hospitals, and recreation facilities. One of the most notable achievements of NHC is commitment to sustainable development. In recent years, the corporation has integrated green building practices into its projects, ensuring that our housing solutions are environmentally friendly and resilient. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate these achievements, it is also crucial to look into the future. The role of NHC is more critical now than ever as we face challenges and opportunities presented by the growing population and rapid urbanization. The government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda, that is better, which prioritizes affordable housing, underscores our commitment to addressing these challenges head-on. NHC will continue to be at the forefront of these efforts, working in collaboration with housing. Today, we embark on a new chapter in NHC's illustrious history. The unveiling of our new brand identity symbolizes our commitment to innovation and modernization. The new brand identity is more than just a new logo or tagline. It represents our core values of excellence, integrity, and inclusivity. It signifies the pledge to continue providing high-quality, affordable housing while adopting new technologies and methodologies to better serve the Kenyan people. Alongside our new brand identity, we are proud to launch NHC 2023 to 2027 strategic plan. This comprehensive plan outlines our vision for the future and strategic initiatives that we will undertake to achieve our goals. Our chief guest, the plan is to build on 5 key pillars. 1, increasing housing supply to address the growing demand for housing, and this involves construction of new homes and renovating our existing stock. Number 2, promoting home ownership through initiatives such as mortgage subsidies, low interest loans, and rent-to-own schemes that will make home ownership accessible to a broader segment of our Kenyan population. Number 3, enhancing urban planning by collaborating with urban planners, architects, and local authorities to develop comprehensive plans that address the needs of the growing urban population. Number 4, we want to undertake fostering community development through continued investment in the development of community facilities such as schools, health centers, and recreation grounds. Number 5, embracing technology and innovation and leveraging smart technologies to improve the efficiency and sustainability of our housing. Our chief guests, you have been taken round to the exhibition centers and you have seen some of that technology, and I know the market is quite varied, is quite wide. Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate the 70th anniversary of National Housing Corporation, we are reminded of the incredible journey that has brought us to this point. It is a journey marked by dedication, innovation, and an unwavering commitment to improving the lives of Kenyans. Today, we honor the past, celebrate the present, and look forward to a future filled with promise and potential. I would like to express my deepest gratitude to the corporation leadership, the dedicated staff and partners of NHC, and to all of you who have contributed to this noble cause. Your hard work and commitment have made a significant difference in the lives of many, and for that we are grateful. As we move forward or chart our way forward, let us continue to work together to ensure that every Kenyan has access to safe, affordable, and dignified housing as enshrined in our Article 43 of the Constitution. And let us build on the foundation laid by those who came before us and strive to create a brighter, profound future for us all. In the words of Nelson Mandela, allow me to say, it always seems impossible until it is done. Together, let us turn the dream of adequate housing for all into a reality. Thank you very much for listening to me and even for coming. The QS Matthew has the singular duty to ensure that the strategic plan, guided by policy direction from his chair and the board, that the strategic plan will be implemented. Of course, the principal secretary and myself have a duty to ensure that they are adequately funded and they are adequately supported and guided. I can confirm the commitment of the government, and that is why today I'm happy to receive and call to this podium the head of public service, coming right at the right time to address this gathering, my good friend Felix Koskei. Thank you very much for coming. You know, he has served at the policy level as a minister, cabinet minister, and therefore I am happy to see him here, and I hope he has 1 or 2, 3 houses, not necessarily for himself, but for the people who deserve around his community. Karibu sana. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him.
Thank you. You may have your seats. The Honorable Alice Wahome, Cabinet Secretary, Lands, Public Works, Housing and Urban Development. Mr. Charles Hinga, Principal Secretary, Housing and Urban Development. Mr. Joel Arumonyang, Principal Secretary, Public Works. Honorable Members of Parliament, led by Honorable Rundikiri and Honorable Faith Gitau. Honorable Yusuf Jansu, National Housing Corporation Board Chair. Members of the board, invited guests. I see former member Forangwe Shemochuadho, who was the pioneer IT expert in this country. Karibu sana. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is a delight to join you today as we mark the 70th anniversary of the National Housing Corporation. This is a momentous occasion that offers an opportunity to reflect on our nation's journey towards dealing with matters that is pivotal to the lives of our citizens, which is housing. The first thing that God bequeathed mankind was a habitat, a dwelling where man would live, thrive, and reach his full potential. Every human being, therefore, needs and deserves their own Garden of Eden. This undisputedly confirms the sanctity of having a dwelling, and indeed, a person cannot attain full dignity without a place to live. Article 43 of our Constitution recognizes housing as a fundamental human right, and I quote, "Every person has a right to accessible and adequate housing and to reasonable standard of sanitation." Ladies and gentlemen, this is why in the Kenya Kwanza plan, housing is recognized as a critical lever of the country's socio-economic development. Along with agriculture, this is a sector that can and indeed should create quality jobs for the close to 100,000 young people graduating from TVETs every year. In this respect, the government, under the leadership of His Excellency the President, is deeply committed to addressing the housing deficit in our country. This commitment is embodied in the government's bottom-up economic transformation agenda and the enabling legal framework, the Housing Act, and the recently enacted Affordable Housing Act 2024. This legislation marks a significant milestone in our journey towards ensuring that every Kenyan has a place to call home. The Act has created the Affordable Housing Fund, which is designed to finance the construction of affordable housing units across the country. Aside from plugging the national housing deficit estimated at 250,000 units annually, provision of housing units targeting the low-income demographic of our population is a critical goal of this legislation. The Housing Fund is a key resource towards supporting development of social amenities like health centers, schools, social halls, police posts, market centers, as well as management and security offices. In addition, expansion of last-mile infrastructure like access roads, parking, stormwater drainage, sewer lines, street lighting, water reticulation, among others, will be made possible by the application of the fund. Ladies and gentlemen, the urgency to address the housing problem is further buttressed by the rapid rate of urbanization, estimated at a rate of 4.4% per year, translating to about 500,000 new urban dwellers annually. under His Excellency the President's administration, affordable housing projects have been launched and are ongoing in 39 countries, with Nairobi City County leading with over 64,000 units under development. This is further augmented by the 200 units per constituency program, where 223 priority sites were identified for development over 162 projects with a potential for at least 52,000 homes. In order to comprehensively address the housing problem, the government is mindful of the critical role played by the private sector and indeed recognizes their massive investments in the real estate sector. To this end, the government is committed to put in place enabling policy reforms to accelerate private sector involvement. These reforms include deployment of tax incentives and outright exemptions, as well as lowering financing costs. I'm glad to know that it is along this reform vein that the corporation has prepared a new 5-year strategic plan, which we have just launched today. I am reliably informed that this plan has taken into account this collaborative imperative in the delivery of housing to our people. I am also pleased to know that the strategic plan has identified and codified equity, integrity, innovation and research, professionalism, customer focus, teamwork and sustainability as the core foundational values that will guide the corporation in its endeavor to realize its mission. In addressing the housing challenge in today's highly paced and complex environment, innovation and technology remains our strongest allies. With the current technological advancement, we can deliver better quality and affordable units within a short turnaround time. I urge all stakeholders to take full advantage and collaborate with the corporation on these. Additionally, the government has embarked on an aggressive digitalization program across all state departments. In the built environment, land and property management systems, digitization is ongoing, and of note is the development of the national cadastre to ensure transparency and efficiency, as well as accessibility and accountability. Ladies and gentlemen, the housing agenda is not just about building homes. It is about building communities. This is the reason why government has taken the path of inclusive development to ensure that the needs of all citizens, including the historically marginalized and vulnerable groups, are addressed. The affordable housing program has been rolled out across all the 47 counties, and as we progress this agenda, we remain committed and intentional with the directive of buy local, be local, where contractors are using local available labor and materials in regions where the projects are ongoing. I have no doubt in my mind that as we continue to expand the affordable housing program in the counties, avenues for job and wealth creation for low-income segments will be opened, transfer of skills, compliance with industry standards, and formalization of cottage industries will follow. These will definitely enrich the lives of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, all these gains are in jeopardy if we do not tackle the significant challenges that abound not only in the housing sector, but also in other closely related sectors. Implementation of comprehensive strategies that include but are not limited to the following is critical. The first one is urban planning and development that will ensure sustainable urban growth by integrating housing projects with essential infrastructure such as roads, schools, and healthcare facilities. Second is standards. We need to adhere to industry standards, regulations, and codes, which has remained wanting. Enforcement is a matter that all agencies should take up with urgency. The third is land reforms. Addressing land tenure issues to make land ownership and transfer processes more efficient and transparent. The fourth is partnerships, and it calls for forging close collaborative relationships with other stakeholders like county governments, would provide opportunities for wider penetration of ownership of decent housing as well as improving the corporation's land bank. Fifth is financing mechanism, and this is developing innovative financing solutions to make housing more affordable. These include exploring mortgage finance options and providing subsidies for low-income families. The sixth is the issue of sustainability. In the face of threats posed by climate change, we need to move towards green building practices and environment-friendly materials to enhance the resilience of our structures. And finally, the seventh is the issue of corruption. The built environment, as you are aware, is amongst the sectors with the highest levels of corruption. And it is always referred to a wet area. Citizens have been cheated out of their land. Others have lost their investments as a result of acquisition of units in buildings that later come to collapse. The fight against corruption is in full gear, with goodwill from the highest office in the land. Therefore, be warned that no person shall be spared in the eradication of these vices. Build environment, right from building housing, areas of construction of roads, constructions of railways, construction of dams, is an area that is bringing a lot of headache because of corruption. That is where we lose money. That is where there is loads of wastage of public funds. I urge all the professionals that are here, and have met most of you, that we are dead serious about fighting corruption. And it's about time that all professionals should really step forward and be counted in fighting corruption. And that does not require much. You just stick to your code of conduct. Be faithful when you are generating your BQs, when you are designing structures. Be faithful to the cause when you are supervising the construction or the coming up of those structures. That is all what we are asking you to do. And I want to add that one may escape the dragnet now, either by luck or by design, but no one will be on the run forever. The laws that have come into force and the ones that are being generated and passed through Parliament on issues governance, and the zeal and the focus that the government has put towards fighting corruption, the resourcing of the institutions that are responsible for investigation, responsible for prosecution, the resourcing of judiciary that is responsible for hearing those cases and expediting matters in court. I know for sure that those who are hiding have a very short time, and the law will catch up with you, and we shall for sure come for you if you still continue stealing. And you know how things are done in this bill environment. You either front load, you either compromise on quality, you either turn your focus to other side when the contractor is doing terrible things. And I want to urge all of us, and especially the board and management of NHC, to be very vigilant and to ensure that corruption will not be part of this agenda moving forward. I also urge all the architects, through the chair, all the engineers, both structural, civil engineers, environmental engineers, and all the professionals to be counted in this war against corruption. It will be good to be counted as those people who stood up against corruption in this generation that will turn the trajectory of governance and good financial management. So I urge all of us to take that one seriously. It's a very serious agenda, and we are on course. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming back to the celebration of the day, the NHC has been at the forefront of providing affordable and decent housing to Kenyans for the last 7 decades and playing a pivotal role in shaping our nation's housing landscape. Today, we honor the legacy of the visionaries who laid the foundation upon which the magnificent skylines in our urban areas is built, including such iconic buildings like the Kenyatta International Convention Center, amongst others. We are equally proud of those who continue to build upon this rich legacy. I am informed that the highlights of this celebration is the unveiling of which we have done, the unveiling of the brand identity. The new identity, as you saw, reflects the corporation's renewed commitment to innovation, inclusivity, and excellence. It is my hope that the rebranding is not just about a new logo and tagline, but a holistic transformation of your business approaches, management ethos, customer responsiveness, and above all, fidelity to the rule of law and transparency and accountability in the use of public resources. Therefore, as we celebrate this milestone, let me reiterate the government's vision that remains clear: to provide affordable and decent housing for all Kenyans. And to realize this vision, a synergistic role of government and society approach is required. This is the surest way to achieve the efficiencies demanded by this highly complex, competitive, and dynamic 21st century environment. This celebration be a springboard to a nationwide commitment for every citizen to utilize whatever opportunities and resources available in their respective stations in life to build a robust and resilient nation. In conclusion, I would want to thank and congratulate the ministry for the good work that they have done. Madam Wasiri, you are doing a very good job. Sometimes people don't want to say, but you have turned the trajectory, and we are seeing this critical pillar in Kenya Kwanza government is actually gaining momentum. It is visible, and for sure we are confident that we are succeeding with your stewardship. Tupige makofi waziri. Pia Singa, your restlessness and commitment in this housing agenda is unparalleled. I think most of the time people forget that it is housing, they think it is Hinga. Because wherever there is issues housing, Hinga is in the forefront. And we thank you for driving this agenda. It looked impossible, but you kept on telling us that it is surmountable, it is not difficult. And we can see projects in Homa Bay, we can see projects in Nairobi, everywhere, because of your commitment, focus, and also mentoring those whom we are working with. We want to thank you very much, Bwana Hinga. So in conclusion, let me encourage the National Housing Corporation to utilize its positioning, resources, and competence to become a model institution providing thought leadership, policy reform, and action readiness that will help avert loss of lives occasioned by collapsing buildings, encroachment or riparian lands, and so on. And for them to succeed, I would want to urge also the ministry to consider putting more resources in this cooperation so that together with the private sector investors, they can also take their place and move with speed to implement the agenda of government. Let me now take this opportunity to really wish you an enjoyable but thought-provoking celebration as you enter the next phase of a rebranded institution. Thank you, and God bless you. Asante sana.
As we come towards the close of this program, may I ask the protocol team at the National Housing Corporation to prepare for the cake cutting ceremony, and while we wait for them to come, I will ask the choir to be seated. I will ask the choir to give us one song, and immediately after that one song, then we will invite our guests to join us here in the cake cutting ceremony. Let's have one song. And GM Estates, please be on standby to pass a vote of thanks. Mr. John Gutu. Choir.
Nina siri naye Yesu, nalifanya niwe